Hi, Mark. This is Mike Buer. I appreciate very much you wanting to get some info from me on what I'm looking for. I appreciate the opportunity to contribute to the work y'all are doing and hopefully make some helpful suggestions. First, let me just say I'm comparing what I want in terms of being able to capture references from Logos and put them somewhere. I'm comparing that to what BibleWorks used to do, and that may not be a fair comparison. Different programs, different philosophies about how they're put together. But BibleWorks had a really good way of capturing verse lists and then putting them where you wanted. For example, any search you did in BibleWorks, you could export the verse list. You could set it to format with 2-letter abbreviations for Bible books, 3-letter abbreviations for Bible books, using periods or not using periods. You could give it instructions on how to do references within the same book, etc. It was really complex and quite useful because you can imagine as a scholar, you're going to write and you're going to want it formatted one way for one piece, formatted another way for a different piece. So that's kind of what I'm working on. So let me show you what happens in Logos. You know this, but I'm just going to kind of talk it through. I have done a search for the word Salmos in the New Testament. You can see that there are 6 references. Looks like there's 7 references. And what I want to do is to put them over here on the left. And I can see I've just got a mistake I need to correct. Instead of having 6, I should have 7. And so let's imagine I'm writing here and I say the noun Salmos is rare in Paul and in the New Testament, and I'd like to put those verse references in. So I'm going to go over here to my search. I'm going to restrict it to Paul so that I only see those 3 references. Okay, that should, it's pretty straightforward to do. But then in order to get that data, that list over to my Word document, I have to go through a lot of steps. I have to right click, I have to save as a word list. I then need to give it, a name perhaps that's useful. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake. Let me try this again. Save as a passage list. I apologize. I was doing the wrong thing. Passage list, and then I can see my references. Intuitively, I'm going to think, oh, compact. I've only got the references, and now I'm going to export or print and export. And then it brings up this window. I don't want to create a file. I just want to copy it to my clipboard so that I can get it over into my Google Doc. I come over here. I get ready to paste it in the proper place. Let me move that. And then I hit paste, and then I get all of this data. I mean, it's just a mess. And then I have to go back and I have to reformat everything. I've got to remove the links. I've got to remove all this extra stuff. I have to take out the full abbreviations and abbreviate it because that's the standard that I want to use, etc., etc. So you can see that I'm having to do a ton of work on these references in order to get them properly formatted. What I would like is for it to export something akin to this. Let me remove this link because it's causing me angst to have this in here. I understand why the links are included, but again, I just want the list of the verses. So let me see, edit the link, remove link, here we go. So I want it to look like that. I want it to be properly formatted Bible abbreviations. I want it to have the appropriate semicolons. I don't want to have to do any of that formatting and remove any of that extra stuff that I had to do. Let me illustrate it here with this just to kind of show you again and make sure it's really clear. So now I go back and now I've got to do another passage list. Let me change this to where it's back in the New Testament as a whole. Apologize, I can't see 100% where that is. Oh, yeah, all passages. And so now I've got my 7 references. And this will be a good example because you'll notice how I have 2 passages from the book of Luke. So now I have to go through that process again. I have to save as a passage list. Let's make it compact. Again, too many steps in my opinion. I have to export it, and I don't want to print or anything like that. I want to copy it to the clipboard because all I want to do is to paste it over. And I come over here and I put it in place, and it's just got all this extra data that I don't want. I want all of my books to be abbreviated already. I don't want this, the name of the passage list. That's not really helpful to me. One thing that BibleWorks was able to do, you'll notice that there's 2 references for the book of Luke. Well, it would be smart, and it would actually omit the second occurrence of the word Luke, because in the citation system that we use, you don't repeat that book name. You can just use the chapter and verse references. Same thing with the book of Acts. Instead of saying this, Acts 1:20, semicolon, Acts 13:33, it would automatically remove the second occurrence of the word Acts, so that it was very clear that 13:33 was coming from the book of Acts. So let me just kind of finish formatting this. Again, lots of different steps that I don't want to have to do to get this list in place. Oops, sorry. And what I want Logos to be able to do is to output a passage list from a search that would look like this, where the books are properly abbreviated, where references from the same book are appropriately formatted without repeating the book name, and it just looks really clean, and it's simple, and it's easy. It's just way too much work to go from a search in Logos, creating a passage list, exporting it, and then removing all the extra formatting. Is just a lot of work, and I wish it could be cleaner. So that's the essential point of my suggestion. I appreciate you listening to it. We can dialogue further if you need to, so let me know. Thanks so much.